Hey guys, what's up? It's iFlynn here, and welcome to episode 14 of Warframe, the Ultimate Beginner's Guide. Now, in this video, we're just going to be talking about how you can use the corrupted mods, which I told you guys to go ahead and fetch in the last video to make your Warframes, more specifically Excalibur, Frost, and Nova, and then soon to be Loki as well. Just a lot more powerful, right? So I'm gonna show you basically what you're gonna be able to get your hands on later on in the game, and what we're really aiming for, how much forma you need to save up, things like that there, letting you prepare in advance, because I am aware that the corrupted mods, they're going to take a while to get, because they all have an equal drop chance, which makes them some of the most annoying mods to get in the game, because you have an equal chance to get the good ones, and you have an equal chance to get the bad ones as well. They're all like 10% drop chance, so it's super annoying. Plus, on top of that, you have to keep on crafting the dragon keys, and you have to keep on crafting the orc and there, the capture keys, so on and so forth. It's just going to take you guys a long time, and you know, I don't blame you for maybe wanting to progress on a little bit, but this is just going to show you like how easier those mods can make your day if you just, you know, buckle down and go and get them, right? So first we're going to be taking a look at Excalibur here. Now, whenever it comes to Excalibur, you guys all know that his most powerful abilities, or one of his most powerful abilities, is his fourth ability, right? Like, with most frames, you expect the most powerful ability to be the last one, okay? So with Excalibur, you can bring out your Exalted Blade here and deal a shit ton of damage, just because the weapon itself, like the Exalted Blade, has its own stats and stuff, and you can mod around that and make it a lot more powerful. So if we go ahead and we put it away, we take a look at the build that we're going to be going for here, you'll see that we have a decent balance of a few things here. Now, I'm going to explain a few things as well, because there's a few things that are very important, like for example, the way I have a maxed out streamline here and a one from the top fleet and expertise here. This is actually something to keep in mind as well whenever we go in. But basically, you're going to be trying to build a decent amount of strength on here. So I have Transient Fortitude and Intensify on here. Ignore this Power Drift mod. This also gives me a little bit more strength, but you will not have access to this yet, so don't worry about it right now. So we have Transient Fortitude and Intensify on, and this is going to give us more power strength, so more damage on our Exalted Blade, but give us less ability duration. And then we throw on Continuity as well. So Continuity will counteract, even though mine is primed, if you throw on the normal one, it will counteract the negative duration from Transient Fortitude. And then you want to throw on your Vitality mod, and this will give you more health. Health is usually favored more over something like shields, because your health actually scales with your armor, so it's more worth it to use the health mod stat. And, you know, whenever you get, let's say, Slash proc or Toxin proc, you never really take any damage to your shield, it's more your health, so Vitality is 9 times out of 10 favored over Redirection, so you want to go ahead and put on your Vitality mod. Prime Flow on here for your energy. You can throw on your normal flow if you do not have the Prime version, which I don't expect you guys to have the Prime version at all. You just want to go ahead and throw Flow on here, and then you want to throw on in your aura slot either Energy Siphon, which will allow you to regen energy over time at the rate of 0.6 energy per second, or Corrosive Projection, which will strip 30% of the enemy's armor. So if you're versus armored opponents, you're going to be dealing more overall damage because you're going to have less armor. So you get Corrosive Projection and Energy Siphon from alerts and alerts only, or you could buy either of them for 5 to 15 platinum. And we'll be talking a little bit more about, you know, how you can basically do trading or trade mods and stuff later on after we get these corrupted mods out of the way, because believe it or not, you can sell corrupted mods for platinum. You can sell them for like a flat rate of like, let's say 15 platinum or something, and then you also can use these whenever you have your full builds put together to go out of your way and farm up prime sets, which you can also sell to other players as well. So this build costs 4 forma, and the polarities we have on here is a D polarity, a V polarity, a dash polarity, another V polarity, and another V polarity. So we have 3 Vs, 1 dash, and 1 D polarity, and that's what you want to have on. So just try to go ahead and copy that, and I'll show you guys the effects of this actual build. So what also happens is Exalted Blade will take the stats, well, not the stats, but it has its own stats, right? The Exalted Blade acts as its own weapons, and it will take the stats from the mods you have equipped to your melee weapon into account when you are using the Exalted Blade, right? So if you have Pressure Point equipped on your melee weapon, you know, it'll do, you know, 165% more melee damage, or for you, those of you who don't have the Prime version, 90% more melee damage, right? So this is the build that I am using on my melee weapon. Just go ahead and from, Pressure Point, Berserker, Organ Shatter, Life Strike, Fever Strike, Shocking Touch, your elementals and stuff. And then this will be your build. Obviously, there's going to be better builds out there. This may not be the best build in the world, but this is actually very damaging. So you could probably just maybe stack up more damage, remove the Organ Shatter or something just for more damage or whatever. But I'm just going to go ahead and show you guys how powerful Exalted Blade really becomes once you get your full build on and you get your corrupted mods and stuff. So this is game changing. This is a level 145 corrupted heavy gunner we're going to spawn in here. So this guy has a lot of health, okay? So what you want to be doing is this, just to show you, this is the enemy level right here, 145, press OK. And we're going to simulate him into this place. We're going to get our energy. We're going to bring out our Exalted Blade. And what you can do with Excalibur is you can press 2, and this will blind them, right? So you remember in the Raptor boss, we were able to blind them so we could deal more damage with our Redeemer. The same thing goes here. You can press your 2 to hit your radio blind, and then you get the stealth multiplier. So if I just go ahead and blind him again, and then you use your Exalted Blade, this is how much damage you deal. And that guy is level 145. So just to give you guys a look into how powerful you can be, you can also regain health if you channel, which is holding down your right click while you melee. So if I'm hitting an enemy, let's say I take like 100 damage, if I right click and I deal like, let's say 1000 damage, I'll get all that 100 health back. It's pretty cool. So this build is all about staying in Exalted Blade, being able to use Radio Blind, deal massive damage, things like that there. And yeah, so that's really it. Just to give you guys another example of how this can be used, go ahead, stun him, channel, hold E, and then because you're critting, you're building up your attack speed with your Berserker. For some reason it didn't work there, but that's okay. We weren't critting necessarily all the time. But yeah, it's pretty cool. You could also go ahead and swap, let's say, Berserker out for something like Prime Fury over here. Let's see if you want to get, just a regular sort of non-crit build. So change out your Berserker for your Fury, take off Organ Shatter, and then just throw on another Elemental mod. So in that case, we'd throw on something like another Electric mod, like so. And we just go ahead and do the exact same thing again, simulate him, jump in, use our Exalted Blade like so, go up and kill him like this. Obviously he's not dying as fast, but it's more of like a burst DPS type of thing. Whenever it does crit, it still deals massive damage. So, you can throw an Organ Shatter on there for more of a sustained DPS type thing. It's just kind of all up to you. Personally, I go with the build beforehand, so you throw on Berserker and all that there good stuff. So let's go ahead and throw on my Organ Shatter. Like so, and then throw on, or you could change this out for True Steel for more crits. Like, let's see, you go True Steel over here, and then throw on your Berserker as well. See, Berserker, here we are, and then just go ahead, simulate the guy back in again, bring out your melee weapon, and then wait for yourself to get back up. You won't be critting as much, but you'll be critting a little bit more often, and there you go. He's gonna die pretty quickly. So that's your Excalibur for you. This is what you're going to be aiming for. You could mod for, your Radio Blind as well, all that good stuff. You can also do finishers with your Radio Blind where you could basically one-shot enemies. So if I just go ahead and show you that, we're not even going to be going into Exalted Blade, just stun him, then you can kill him like that. Okay, that's the wrong build, but you'll be able to get a build where you can one-shot an enemy who is blinded like that, or you can bring out your Exalted Blade, stab him like so, and then that'll kill him. Different ways to do it, and it's just all down to how you want to build, really. So this build also takes advantage of an augment mod called Chromatic Bleed. You don't necessarily need this. You could replace this for Stretch or something, but this is a mod that you get within Steel Meridian as well. So again, this video is just all about giving you a taste of what you're going to be working towards whenever it comes to your frames and stuff. So this is Frost, or Frost Prime. The difference between Prime frames and normal frames, very minimal. You get an extra polarity on your Prime frames. You get a little bit extra energy, you get a little bit extra armor, sometimes sprint speed and stuff, but there's almost no difference. It's not that big of a deal. So this is a snow globe build. Basically what this means is you can throw up a snow globe, and basically the enemies won't be able to hit your defense objective, right? So if we just go ahead, stand over here, put this here up, enemy's not able to shoot inside, and you can see the health of the snow globe down in the bottom right hand corner there. So you see you start off like 100 health, goes down to 99. Keep in mind this guy's level 145. Basically what happens is you throw on a lot of health, you throw on a lot of armor, you throw on a lot of strength, and you also make it so you can spam this ability. So every time you recast your snow globe, the snow globe that you have up is going to absorb the health of the other snow globe. A lot of people like to call it snow globe stacking. But basically all it is, it's a lot of strength, it's a lot of health, it's a lot of armor, and that will affect the health of your snow globe. You can check the health of the snow globe in the abilities over here. So the snow globe's health right now is 11,305. If you were to remove something like vitality or your steel fiber from there, then that health would go down, so you'd have less effective health. But it's just basically for defending stuff. There is also another Frost build that I want to show you guys, which is his Avalanche build, which I might actually have to put together on screen for you guys, which looks like we're going to have to do. So the Avalanche build is basically all about keeping enemies crowd controlled, right? And it's more about having a lot of duration and a lot of range rather than having a lot of strength and stuff. Like, it's not going to be a damage deal or anything like that there. You have a lot of duration on so the enemies stay frozen for longer, right? So we also have an extra V polarity here, which I don't know what I'm actually going to use in that slot. Maybe have Intensify there for just a little bit of snow globe health. But really, this is all it's about, is spamming your fourth ability to keep them all frozen in the one position, right? So let's go ahead and throw on Prime Flow in that slot instead. And then throw on our Max Streamline, throw on another D polarity over here. So we'd throw on our Vitality, and then we throw on a little bit more of range via Cunning Drift, which again is another Exodus mod, which you guys don't have to worry about. So basically what this one's all about, spawn in the enemy, simulate him, go over. I don't have enough to actually cast the bubble. So this one costs a little bit more energy to cast because you don't have as much efficiency on, but it's still the same premise. You keep them frozen for a very, very, very long time, like so. So they just kind of stay frozen for a long period of time because you have a lot of duration on, and you can catch a lot of enemies in the blast with this because you have a lot of range on as well. So that's basically the Frost, and then we're moving on to Nova as well. And there's another 2 builds for Nova that I would like to show too. So if we can move on to my Nova Prime first. Nova Prime is a great frame because of her fourth ability, one of her strongest abilities, as usual. And basically what this allows you to do, I'm actually going to go ahead and equip a shotgun for this because I prefer shotguns in Nova. But what this allows you to do is slow down enemies and make them take more damage. They're more susceptible to damage whenever you hit them with this fourth ability here. So this build is all about duration and getting 145% power strength. So what M Prime is going to do is going to hover over these enemies, like in a radius, which is affected by your power duration. So you hit the ground, and then this big aura expands around Nova, and then, or from where she used the ability, it expands, and then any enemy caught in the blast is going to be slowed down, and they're going to take more damage. And on top of that, once they die, they're also going to blow up. Once they're slowed down, they can only be slowed down so much. So you couldn't just stack a shit ton of power strength on here and make the enemies pretty much immobile. It caps out at 75%, right? Also, the heavy gunners are shooting me right now. That's pretty hilarious. But it caps out at 75%. So the 75% slow is achieved once you hit 145% power strength. Now, this build, you might not be able to meet this like instantly because you need Intensify and Power Drift combined with one another because this gives 30% and this gives 15%. But you will be able to throw on Narrow Minded, Fleeing Expertise, etc., etc. So, you know, it's good to have the premise for the builds. This is a 4-former build, by the way. I'm not too sure how much Frost is. We'll go back and we'll talk about a few things that I missed in a minute or two. But you have your power duration on here. So Constitution, you have your Narrow Minded, your Prime Continuity, or your regular Continuity, and that will let your M Prime expand. And then you have your Power Strength, Intensify, and in this build, Power Drift. Obviously, you can reach that 145% Power Strength in different ways if you want to mess around with it, but this is, in my opinion, the best way to reach it. Then you have your Fleeting Expertise and your Streamline 1 from the top to get your 175% efficiency cap. So, you know, you have your minus 50% ability duration on there. If you were to upgrade this one more time, it would go on to minus 60%, so there's no reason to do that because you cap at 75%, and 25 plus 50 is 75, so you have your 175 from your base 100. Then you have your Prime Flow Vitality for your health, Prime Flow for your what's it called, for your energy, and obviously this can be normal if you wanted to. Narrow Minded for your duration, don't know if I covered that, but it has minus ability range, which doesn't really matter in Nova at all. And then obviously aura mod of your choice. Again, I always recommend dash auras like energy siphon or corrosive projection because they're usually just the best. But okay, let's jump in and show you guys how good Nova really is if we want to kill these guys and then spawn them back in again. So what happens is you jump here, you press your 4, and then this expands, and enemy caught in the radius is slowed down, and you'll know which one's slowed down because you'll see that little weird thing around them. So their shooting gets slowed down, their movement gets slowed down, their melee gets slowed down, their reloading, everything about them is slowed down, and that'll last for a pretty long time because you have a shit ton of duration on this build. They also take a lot more damage, so the reason I did a shit ton of damage there and the reason he's still taking damage is because of the weapon that I'm using, but regardless of the weapon you're using, they're also going to take like a shit ton more damage because Nova is just Nova, right? You can also pair that together with your second ability called Antimatter Drop. Now this won't be as powerful because you don't have a shit ton of strength on, but if you hit your M Prime, which is your 4th ability, get them caught in this little blast here, and then shoot out this little orb, which is your second, and then shoot it with your shotgun until it glows, and then bring it towards the enemy with your crosshair, aim it. That's going to multiply the damage that you did, and then, you know, turn it into radiation damage. Now, obviously, it doesn't do a lot of damage versus this guy, because this guy is more or less immune to radiation damage because of the armor he has on. But if we were to strip the armor from him, you know, and then do something like that there, it would kill him in no time, like so. So there you go. That's basically Nova in a nutshell. And we also have a second build for Nova, which I have on the regular version offer. And this is the speed build. This does the opposite. And what you use this here for is if, let's say, you were, you know, you're trying to level or you're trying to farm resources and you're playing against the infested, right? And you don't want it to go as slow. You would use the speed Nova to speed up the process of leveling. I'm just going to go ahead and make this the same color like so. So we go ahead, we spawn in infested chargers right here. We make them, okay, we can spawn in about 10, like so, simulate, we jump onto this little pedestal here, we hit our 4th ability, they're all going to be sped up, right? So they're going to move fast, they're going to chase me, like so, they're a lot faster, so that means they're going to run to like the defense, this defense pod a lot faster as well, so you can like get up somewhere and then kind of just shoot down at them, because these guys are very weak anyway, you know, you don't have to deal more damage to them like with your abilities or anything, because of like they only have health, so there's nothing really stopping you from dealing the maximum amount of damage to them, right? So that's really all there is with that there. So a few things that I missed going through it. I didn't tell you guys how many forma Frost needs. Frost needs 3 forma, and then you have to have a 2 D polarities and 2 V polarities, 1 dash polarity, and a dash on the aura. For Nova, for the first Nova anyway, the slow Nova, you need to have 4 forma, and then you'll need to have 2 Vs, 2 Ds, and 2 dashes, and a dash in the aura. And then for the regular Nova, you need to have a V, 2 Ds, 2 dashes, and a dash in the aura. And then for your Excal, I already covered this, but there's also another build that I want to show, which is your Radio Blind build. And this takes advantage of this Radiant finish right here. So blinded enemies take 300% more finisher damage. So whenever you blind them, you go up and you melee them. Let's just go ahead and equip something like the Venka here, for example. Do a really sick-ass melee on them. Get our energy. One in our level 145 Heavy Gunner again. Like so. Simulate. We go over. We blind them. Like this. We stab him, and it does a decent chunk of his health. Decent chunk. And you can obviously pair that with other things which will increase your finisher damage. Like, for example, a mod called, is it Lethal... Covert Lethality? That's what it is. And that will basically increase the amount of damage you deal with daggers on finisher attacks, which will allow you to one-shot them. So if we go ahead and we equip the weapon I call the Rack the Dark Dagger, change the appearance like so, and we also change the elemental to corrosive damage to get that 75% bonus versus this guy. Change that out. Go here, Fever Strike, Molten Impact. There we go. We spawn him in, simulate, bring out our dagger, then we blind him, then we stab him, and that's a one-shot. Easy peasy. So that is the Covert Lethality build for Excal, or the Radio Blind build. and that's basically just a lot of range, so overextend it. Stretch, cutting drift for your range, decent amount of duration, so prime continuity. Then we have, just streamline on here because we don't want any negative duration coming from the fleeting. Rage on here, so then if we get in a tight situation, we can kind of just hit it, get out of there. Radiant finish, obviously this is the augment you get from the Steel Meridian. Flow on here, so we can have more energy, vitality, so we don't die. And then I also forgot to show the regular Nova build for the Speed Nova, and the reason that this makes them faster instead of slowing them down is because we get negative power strength from the overextended mod, which will increase our range but minus our strength, right? So we go into the negative with strength, we only have 40%. We have that there equipped. Overextended, streamline, so we can hit it and we get more duration for our M prime. Natural talent on here because that's just like a little quality of life mod I like to have on there because there's nothing really else you can throw on here. Maybe another defensive mod would be nice, but this is kind of a slot you can throw anything on. Vitality so we don't die, Narrow-minded, prime continuity for the duration, constitution also for duration, prime flow for the energy, and then the endurance drift is on here because, I mean, there's nothing else you can really throw on here. It just gives you more energy, and then obviously an aura slot off your choice. So that's all the uses of those frames. We could also move on to Loki, but I realize that this is 21 minutes in and you guys haven't necessarily got Loki yet, so we won't cover him here. But that's just giving you guys a look into how powerful you can make your frames once you get those corrupted mods and how they can affect your frames' abilities, make them strong, make them weak, things like that there. We'll also be talking about weapons in the future as well, just to give you guys like a little look into how you should kind of be aiming to build your weapons. Here's a Bratton build right here. I'm just going to go ahead and unequip this Riven mod real quick and give you guys the proper way, the sort of you guys would be building right now. So this is just all about your elements and stuff. So Restoration, Heavy Caliber, Split Chamber. We'll talk about how you get a Split Chamber in a later video. We also have Infected Clip, Malignant Force on here for your Toxin, Stormbringer High Voltage, that will make corrosive, and then Ferment rounds. This is all versus the Corrupted Heavy Gunners. Again, I talk a lot about damage in episode 5. You want to go check that there, right? This basically gives me 100% extra damage bonus because I have this row of elements on. 100% extra damage bonus versus the heavy gunners, and then obviously your main damage mods on here to up your base stats to make it pretty easy. So just to show you guys how effective this weapon kind of is with that type of build. You could probably even pull this off with a regular Bratton as well. So you're proccing your elements and stuff, and that's why he's dying quicker than he was at the beginning. But that's basically it. Thank you guys for watching this video. If you enjoyed it, if you are excited to be as OP as this, hit that like button below. If you want to see more Warframe content from me, hit subscribe. Don't forget to enter into the giveaway, which will be in the description below. You have until the 31st of August to enter. 31st of August 2017. So until then. But anyway, guys, thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Goodbye.